So here's what I'm trying to get at, which probably doesn't make sense to the first part. So math. I know my math. I'm going to say that right now. I know my math. I know how to do it. I know how to, I mean, if I didn't have a memory problem to hold it all, I'm sure I would be just as good as my sister with math. Here's the thing though. Alright, the only way I can explain it to you, explain why I'm bad at math to you is like this. Picture a filing cupboard. You know, you put all your papers and all that stuff in there. Anything that you get from school or from work, you put it in this big filing cupboard, okay? Picture that in your mind. From kindergarten all the way to 12th grade, I have papers in 3 billion different cupboards all over, okay? And it's all math-based cupboards. So I've learned it. I know it. I've seen it. I understand it. When you show me a problem, I'll be like, oh yeah, I've seen that. I've done that in school. I know how to do it. But then they say, okay, here's the paper. Do it. I look at it. I know what it is. I know what it says. And I've learned it before, and I know I've learned it before. I know how to do it. But I don't know how to do it because I have stored that information in a cupboard somewhere, and I can't get to it. So then you bring in my sister. What she does is she says, okay, well, you know, you went to school and this is how you learned it. So she writes it out, she tells me how to do it, and then be like, it clicks. I was like, oh, okay. So then something clicks in my head that says, yeah, I remember now, opens that cupboard, pulls it out, and is like, here, you remember doing this in 9th grade? It's really easy. Hair on my arm. That's odd. Here, you remember doing this in 9th grade? It's really easy. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember doing that. It makes so much more sense now. So I take that information, I put it down, I use it to write my paper out, and then I move on to the next problem and I put that information away. And what's happened now that the information is away, somebody has locked the cupboard and forgotten to give me the key. So now I can't pull that information back up unless somebody said, relearned it, reteaches it to me. And then I was like, and then I can open it again and be like, oh yeah, I totally remember this. So if that makes sense to you, that's my learning disability right there all on its own. I just explained to you my whole learning disability. I know how to do it, I know what it is when I see it, but I can't pull that information out of the cupboard on its own. Somebody has to come to me and say, remember when we did this in 9th grade and you did it constantly? Well, because I did it constantly, I remembered it and I stored it in that cupboard. But I can't get to it because it's locked and somebody has to reteach it to me, and then I can say, I remember it now. I can do it so quick and so easy. So, if that makes sense to you at all, I know that's a weird concept and I don't know, it's just a very weird outlook on it, but that's the only way I know how to explain it to you. I don't know if that's what it's like for other kids. It might be one of those things. I was never held back in school, ever. So, anything that I couldn't catch up on, like the math that I had learned but had gotten stored and locked, I would go to, like, if it was math class and I was like, okay, well he's taught it to me, now it's time for us to do our homework and I don't know what I'm doing. I was allowed to, after he's taught it all and he said a speech and he said, okay, everybody do their homework or do pages 1 through 10 on chapter 3 or whatever. I was allowed to get up, leave class, and go to the special ed room where then she would do what my sister's doing now, reteach me the stuff and say, you know, this is how to do it. Do you understand now? And I'd pull open the cupboard again and be like, I get it. I can do it really fast now. And that's my disability. Once I learn it, I know how to do it. But when we move on to something else completely and that gets put away in the cupboard, I completely forget how to do it again unless somebody unlocks it and says, here it is, do you remember how to do it now? And I'd be like, yeah, I totally get it. So, that's kind of, I don't know if that makes sense. I rambled again. I know, I'm sorry. I got SAT accommodations I talked to you about my learning disability for why I've gotten accommodations, and I'm really, really excited. I cannot wait to take the SAT, and I know I probably shouldn't be excited about it because it's one of those things where I know if I'm going to get excited, I'm going to do really bad, but I'm just excited to do it to see how well I can do it because I have that learning disability, and I want to be able to say, you know what, who cares? Who cares if I have a learning disability? I can do whatever the heck I feel like. So, you know, I'm just excited to go there and prove to a lot of people who have said I couldn't do it, to prove them wrong and say, guess what, I took the SAT. I might not have gotten a high score, but I think I got a pretty good score for me. So, I have not taken it yet. I have to go to my old high school in town here and take it in May. I think it's May 5th. So counting down the days, and my sister and I are sitting down and we're learning some more math. I'm going on the computer and I'm learning different languages, I'm sorry, big words, which I call different languages because they're hard for me to read. So I guess it's technically reading. I can do the writing bit pretty well. The reading bit's a little bit hard. Funny. And the math bit, my sister and I are sitting down and she is teaching me the way I've learned back in school so I can pull stuff out again and say, it's laid out in front of me, here it is, you gotta learn from this. But I'm so glad I got him. I'm so glad I get to take the SAT like everybody else. I'm pumped just to see the SAT. Once I get through the SAT, that brings up the next major topic, which is colleges. Colleges. And then the next major topic, which is what I want to do, which is be a child therapist. Which means either, I'm not sure if this is for sure or not, but I'm supposed to get my minor in child development, my major in psychology, and psychology I guess has a lot of math in it. So that might be another brick wall I ran into. But we will see, and I'm not going to worry about it until I get there. So, that's it. That is my vlog for today. Today is Tuesday for me, and it's Thursday for you. Depending on when you watch this, it might be Friday, it could be Saturday, who knows. Anyway, I hope you have a great day, whatever day you're watching this on, and I will see you next week, alright? Goodbye. Mwah.